Greetings there and welcome back. Isn't your 20s a time of exploration, growth, and learning? And that comes with the assumption that you will make mistakes along the road. You are supposed to make some of these mistakes, and here are 15 of them that you commonly make in your 20s. Welcome to Billionaire Lifestyle, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Number 1. Not investing in yourself as a person. One of the most common errors people make in their 20s is failing to engage in themselves. This includes not investing time in developing your talents, pursuing your passions, or investing in your own personal development. In comparison to the actual world, your 20s are a period of exploration. You have, like, zero obligations. Now is an excellent opportunity to attempt new things and develop your character. People have personal crises in their 30s because they did not care to sort themselves out in their 20s. They have no idea what they are capable of. They have few skills and no clue where they're headed. You're not expected to figure it all out in your 20s, but you should set the groundwork for it. Your 30s should be filled with living experience. However, if you spend all of your time relaxing and vibing, prepare for a world of pandemonium very soon. Number 2. Neglecting your health. Neglecting your health is another common error in your 20s. You may feel powerful in your 20s. You could perform all-nighters with ease. Hangovers are merely a nuisance, and your lower back is unaffected. You make the mistake of believing you'll exist like this eternally. It's difficult to fathom feeling old when you're in the peak of your health, but it will happen. After a set of steps, you'll begin to tire. A snooze in the midst of the day will begin to sound appealing. You won't be able to afford to lose too much slumber. The list continues on. And it will happen right away. You'll be great and cheerful one day. When you get up from the sofa the next day, you start making dad sounds. Start giving more attention to your health if you want to prevent this. Get the bare necessities completed, some exercise and a healthy food. It will make a huge impact. Have you ever seen a 30-year-old who appears to be playing bingo on a Friday night? If you don't want that to be you, start taking care of your health. Number 3. Living in a fantasy land. When you're in your 20s, you feel like the primary figure, don't you? You exist in your own bubble, believing that you don't worry about anything outside of your direct surroundings. You create your own little fantasy world in which you are the king. But you can't stay a child eternally, right? You can't avoid duties indefinitely. They'll come pounding on your door sooner or later. Some argue that growing up is a mistake and that we should all remain children eternally. That is the dream world we are discussing. It sounds nice, but it's not working. The good news is that after you take care of your duties, you can still be a child. Number 4. Not taking risks. Another common blunder in your 20s is failing to take chances. Your 20s are a time for adventure, and taking risks can help you find new interests and possibilities. Threats are required for development. You will stay in your comfort zone if you do not take risks, and you will lose out on possibilities for personal and professional development. And, as we mentioned in the introduction, your 20s are a period when you have almost no real-world obligations. It's the ideal moment to learn something you'll never use or to launch a company that will almost certainly fail. The narrower your danger window becomes as you get older. You won't be able to afford to take chances. You don't want to wind up saying, "Well, I suppose this is my life now," when you have a mortgage or a child. You're in your 30s. Number 5. Not networking. Contrary to common perception, the squad will not be present indefinitely. You should meet as many individuals as possible, and your 20s are the ideal moment to do so. Those who are well past their 30s understand how uncomfortable it is to meet someone fresh these days. And, look, it's extremely unlikely that you'll be able to do it all on your own at some time. You must surround yourself with competent individuals. You need folks to unlock doors and assist you. You need individuals to learn from and develop with. We know it's enticing to be antisocial and believe you don't need anyone, but in your 20s, particularly, you're only fooling yourself if you say no to social gatherings, unless you feel something off. Number 6. Not saving money. In your 20s, you're expected to be a financial moron, particularly if you have no one to educate you otherwise. As a result of the preceding statement about the significance of networking, the most significant thing you can do with your money in your 20s is to save a part of it and invest it safely. And it's so powerful because you have so much time and can take advantage of accumulating interest to your advantage. Aside from that, even small amounts of money saved will teach you financial control, which the overwhelming majority of people lack. It's very enticing to spend all of your monthly earnings because you're 20 and nothing counts. But if you build some good financial habits early on in your life, life will be 10x easier later on. Number 7. Not traveling. Your 20s are a period for discovery, and traveling can help you acquire new views and experiences. Traveling can help you expand your views and become more open-minded and internationally conscious. Traveling is the best method to learn about yourself and the world. And, contrary to common perception, you don't have to spend 6 months backpacking through Southeast Asia to do so. City vacations, camping, and attending shows in various nations. Everything that requires you to bodily leave your comfort zone qualifies as travel. Nonetheless, we all travel a lot and learn a lot from it. Number 8. Not being assertive. Another mistake you're expected to make in your 20s is not being assertive. It's natural to be frightened by authoritative figures or more experienced coworkers, but advocating for yourself is essential for your personal and professional development. Being assertive can help you successfully communicate your wants and objectives. You can establish limits, negotiate for what you want, and earn the regard of others by being assertive. In other words, stick up for yourself, hold your ground, and develop a strong backbone. Number 9. Not embracing failure. When you're young, you're expected to fail. You lack the necessary training, abilities, and expertise. You're not meant to know everything. That is why this period is known as the discovery years. It's a better way of describing the years of messing around. You do not require the ideal employment, internship, or whatever else. You can't possibly know what you want in life unless it was imprinted on your consciousness at a young age. Failing is inevitable, so accept it and learn from it. Number 10. Not prioritizing self-care. Self-care is like the last priority on a 20-year's mind. You believe you'll have enough leisure to care about that nonsense. When you're mature, you deal with your problems with force rather than kindness and understanding. Every day, you let it grow and consume you from the inside out. Fortunately, it appears that self-care is becoming more prevalent than it was a couple of years ago. And people are much more accepting of it, which is fantastic. Number 11. Not seeking help. When it comes to self-care, getting assistance when you need it is still perceived as an indication of weakness. People in their 20s feel the need to establish themselves and prefer to do everything on their own. When things don't go as planned, they begin to criticize the system. What they fail to understand is that everyone had assistance along the road, and you're meant to seek support. Seeking help does not make you a less of a person. Number 12. Living only on social media. Only the next generation will have to cope with this. And because it's a new age, it's all a riddle. We have yet to see a completely grown individual who grew up with a smartphone in their hands from an early age, so we don't really know the effect it can have just yet. A major mistake you can make here is failing to distinguish between truth and illusion. The next generation will be the first to contend with deep fakes and virtual identity fraud. It'll be fascinating to see how this one develops. Number 13. Not trading with the future. We're coming closer to the conclusion of the game. Even if your 20s are for risk-free trial and error, doing so with no conclusion in mind is pointless. Everything must add up to something greater in the end. You're doing something right now, so that your future self can appreciate you. This is a good North Star to have if you want to find yourself, create a solid financial base, or do anything else that will help you grow as a person. You might wonder if this experience will make you a better individual in the future. If you ask yourself this question frequently, your 20s will no longer feel disorganized and meaningless. Number 14. Not setting good habits. What you do on a daily basis determines who you are as an individual. Your 20s are an excellent time to form powerful routines that, if ignored, will stick with you for the rest of your life. So why not take advantage of this? This is an excellent opportunity to begin creating small activities you do on a regular basis and gradually building a foundation. According to research, it takes approximately 66 days for a behavior to become reflexive. You can begin by developing money discipline, as we discussed previously, or by engaging in regular exercise, or by reading a few pages per day, or by doing anything else that you value. The sooner you establish these good practices, the longer you will be able to enjoy the advantages. And finally, number 15. Not enjoying the journey. The concluding mistake you should avoid in your 20s is failing to appreciate the journey. Your 20s are a time for exploration, development, and learning, and it's essential to appreciate the journey. Life is a voyage rather than a goal. It may sound trite, but it is completely accurate. Even if you do make these errors, your 20s are the ideal age to do so. You'll still have enough time to prepare now for a bonus tomorrow, when we'll be doing a film on the top 15 errors people make in their 30s. If these errors are acceptable today, the ones from tomorrow will be much more troublesome. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it useful, consider subscribing to our channel. See you tomorrow.